The McElroy brothers are not experts, and their advice should never be followed. Travis insists he's a sexpert, but if there's a degree on his wall, I haven't seen it. Also, this show isn't for kids, which I mention only so the babies out there will know how cool they are for listening. What's up, you cool baby?
It's familiar, but not too familiar, but not too not familiar. It's a new craze. Hey, good girls, do you wanna just say, hey, I wanna? Just say, hey, I wanna.
Let's just jump right into it, guys. Dear Abby's dead, and what do we do now?
Where do we go from here?
In this
There's
post-advice
lots of like
world.
really terrible direction that we could take this goof, but I'm actually like super sad. I feel like a pioneer is gone.
Well, I mean, that is, we do a super sad podcast.
Uh-huh.
A sad advice podcast is what shows up in our iTunes description.
Are we to mock the passing of a titan?
One of my favorite Dear Abby columns came from 1979. I thought this was the best way to remember her before we moved on to some of the actual goofs. She received a letter written by a fan of hers who was complaining about a gay couple who had moved into her neighborhood. And the letter writer said that they have all sorts of strange company, men who look like women, women who look like men, blacks, whites, Indians. Yesterday, I even saw 2 nuns go in there. How can we improve the quality of this once respectable neighborhood? And her reply was, you could move.
Man, that's
Zing.
I know,
fucking-
like in 3 words, she just took somebody apart in what usually takes us 15 to 20 hours
right.
to put together.
Fuck, that's good, man. She probably got shit like that all the time, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
my black president, who I hate, is trying to take all my guns and liberties away.
Why does that guy, that fella, if I may, I don't want to get too incendiary here, but why does that fella want to take my guns?
Right? What's
Mine
his
are
deal?
first. Listen. My AR-15 is a modern musket, and I use it for one. Shut up. I use it for one thing, and that's sport. And the sport I like is hunting the homeless. And so Obama wants it. I'm trying. It's a modern muskum.
I
It's
just
a
want to know
sport.
why does he actually want to take my real factual musket away?
Why does he want to take my decorative musket?
I bought this blunderbuss at an auction. It is mine, damn it.
It wouldn't look as good with a shorter capacity magazine, idiot.
Why? Right.
Keep
idiot.
your hands off my novelty cannon.
Leave my musket alone, and also stop trying to steal my musk. That's my fragrance. I worked on it with Jean-Pierre Lapierre, and it has sandalwood and notes of tobacco and longing. And please don't steal my musk. Please, it's my modern
I don't
musk.
want to take my
Obama.
stank away.
Please don't take my modern
The
musk.
Third
Obama.
Amendment defends our stank. Defends our right to hold stank without quartering enemy soldiers. I think that's number 3.
I've seen a lot of hostage movies, and I've learned one thing, and that's if someone is gathering up a bunch of guns, that means they're about to lead an assault.
Oh my
They're
God,
about,
yeah.
Like, they're like, I need all your guns. I'm gonna rescue my nephew, Dumb Ricky, from the hospital that he's captive in.
I got to tell you, Justin, with the flu that you have, clearly. By the way,
yes.
listeners, Justin has a flu. If you sounded just a little more belligerent, you already have, like, the sort of death rattle voice of Alex Jones. So you could, like, really drop some science on our listeners. And
Hey, listen, everybody. Do you own any gold? Why not, you retards?
We trade goofs for gold.
We trade goose for gold here on the My Brother Me show. Hey, listen, coming up after the break, we got a brand new set of knives. These are pearl handled. You're going to be able to pick up 3 of these for $17.99. And after the break, a samurai sword also. It's going to look real great on your mantle where your modern musket used to hang before Obama took it away.
Now, Let me ask you, is Alex Jones also like
Alex
a
Jones
CBS?
hosts the Knife Show.
Okay.
Yeah, Alex Jones hosts the Knife Show. I realized as I was doing that goof that I really don't know anything about Alex Jones except he thinks everybody should have a water purifier in their apartment. And then I decided to transition seamlessly, at least it was seamless until you pointed it out, seamlessly into the guy that runs the Knife Show, which I love. I love that guy.
Okay.
You're going to be able to buy 70 knives for $30. What is the situation?
That is a
wanna
lot
know.
of knives for a very
How?
low amount of money.
I want to practice throwing knives into the river.
but I don't want to walk over and retrieve them.
Now, see, my joke was the river. You should have let me finish my joke.
I think you were
Let
crossing.
me try again.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to throw my knives and I want to practice throwing knives into the river.
This episode of My Brother and Me is sponsored by Theraflu, which if you take too much of it, you are just going to fucking trip your ass right to the moon. Clearly.
I live in a van down
Okay.
by the river.
Great.
You guys hear that one?
Great.
You guys hear that one?
Great.
A van down by the river, Matt Foley.
Travis, do you think we should
Matt.
should we start A, should we take control of the podcast, and B, should we host some sort of intervention?
I would take control of the podcast, Griffin, but Obama took my guns away.
Oh, God.
You want to control this podcast, you got to take it by force.
You can pry this podcast out of my cold, dead fingers.
Here's a question. I have a first date coming up. I recently found out, however, that the girl I'm going out with has a Twitter account where she live tweets all her first dates.
Oh,
I haven't
the fuck?
Yeah, I haven't followed her, and my account isn't public, but I do have the address, and all signs point to her not knowing / not caring that I can read it. She's tweeted some about me already. We're going to dinner and a concert. Should I discreetly follow the play-by-play and act accordingly, or should I ignore it in hopes that it won't throw off my game? That's tempted by Twitter.
Are you
The
kidding me?
fucking worst thing I've ever heard.
What are we doing?
So is this like she just does it, or like she's doing it as like a project?
It sounds like this is her social media presence.
Yeah.
That's awful. You're the worst person.
But-
The worst person is the person who didn't include her username so I can follow her.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I would do that. Don't get me wrong. I would do this for entertainment, but it's like this is the same reason that you don't date a Kardashian, is because you don't want that to be your whole life. You know.
Exactly, right.
This is
People will
exactly
forget how
why.
good you are at football or rapping.
That's the only thing that's keeping me from doing that, other than the fact that I'm very happily engaged, and also I still don't know what and who the fuck those people are and what they did.
I would also like to point out, I mean, I know that this wasn't the point of the question, but this means that when this girl goes on a first date, she's constantly like typing on her phone. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why she goes on a lot of first dates.
At least you'd know, like, right when you, like you
I'll order for the lady. Oh, click, click,
phone's
click,
coming
click.
out. You accidentally, like, flip a ramekin of mustard onto her, and she whips the phone out, and you're like, okay.
Fuck.
I did deserve that one. You got me.
Can you just be like having dinner with her and be like, hey, would you mind putting your goddamned
Yeah.
phone away so I can like try and form a personal connection with you and maybe later get some touch?
Here in the wilderness of human civilization, two people have found each other, and you're marking the occasion by, like, play-by-playing it, tweet by
Yeah.
tweet.
I also would suggest, like, listen, I'm not one to poo-poo something before you even give it a shot, but this girl sounds awful. Is that
Yeah,
just me?
she doesn't sound like very cool or fun.
I mean, it could be cool and fun. We don't know unless we read those tweets.
Is it possible that she's dating you because, like, the one girl in the in that Boy Meets World episode?
Topanga.
No, the
Corey's mom.
the Alanis.
Corey's dad?
Morissette,
You said girl.
or
I don't know why you
Avatar.
would say girl if you're talking
Morgan
about
1,
Corey's-
Morgan 2.
The one who had a songwriting career about Corey's brother.
Larissa.
Oh,
Olenek.
Larissa Olenek.
Okay, right. And she needed to date him
Topanga
so he
again?
didn't- I feel like you guys are kind of. I'm trying to get across
black
a point
one.
to you. No,
The only one.
there weren't the one black person on Boy Meets World. No,
To be fair, there were two. There were two black people. There was the teacher in season 1 who was not asked back.
Oh shit, that's right. Anyway, what were you saying, Justin?
There was one on there that dated Corey's brother, and he treated her badly, and
Minkus?
she got a hit song out of it. Okay, I give up.
Potato.
I quit. I'm out. I quit.
Was it
I
potato?
think she's going out with you for more material.
Okay.
That's what
Yes.
I'm saying to you.
This is
She's
what I-
dating you for material.
As somebody who works on and broadcasts pretty much exclusively on the internet for the way that they make money for a living, why does this person feel like the medium for this broadcast has to be live? Who is their audience? Like, it's 8:00 on a Friday, time to tune into those tweets. It's not like an old timey radio show. Why can't she fucking wait home and then write up a blog post and try and make it honest?
Who remembers anything though? I don't remember anything that happens.
Well,
unless
and
I
also,
tweet it.
can you imagine being the dude who like reads the field report later, where it's like, "So here's how it went down," and you're like, "Oh man, I thought I did good. I did bad."
I thought I did a real good job. Best way to build your presence is probably to bomb the date, because then you're going to get a lot of people following you. If your date's good or unremarkable, it's going to be a non-starter. But like if you completely bomb it,
Just
like Tom Bombadil bomb it.
Compulsive mimetic behavior.
Yeah,
Unless you have the greatest date anyone has ever had
fuck.
ever. Now listen, you're really gonna have to pull out all the stops and really commit to this. But you could be Twitter famous. for having
everybody
the best date ever.
Everybody's been trying to have the best date ever for 1,000 years. There's
Listen,
no
I'm not
reason to
saying
begin
the
to crack
odds
it.
aren't stacked against him.
It's
I'm
gonna be
not
very-
saying it's not gonna be an uphill climb.
He'll show up to the dinner with like a ukulele, and he's like, "That's for later." He'll have 2 jackets so he can put one around you and also one over that puddle that you can step over.
The greatest first date ever was already had by John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale in Serendipity.
Oh, great.
So let that ship sail. You're not gonna beat him.
Or recreate Serendipity. But don't tell her what you're doing.
Isn't that sort of against? Isn't that
What?
sort of against the spirit of the film Serendipity?
What if she hasn't seen Serendipity and her followers realize before she does that you are just recreating the film Serendipity?
Holy shit! You have
Like-
to secretly be tweeting about the date also that you are goofing her on a faux Serendipity switcheroo.
Oh my god, that's a little played out.
Yeah.
I got another question for you.
Okay.
I have a problem. My boss is super long-winded and he's super on my case. Some of his points are valid, but it's as if he will not stop speaking on his own volition. He'll circle the same point over and over again, repeating things he said in past conversations or just minutes ago. I don't think I've ever had a one-on-one with him that was under 20 minutes. They're usually closer to 40. There's never more than 5 minutes worth of information. He is my boss, and I can't tell him to shut his goddamn yapper. Need some tips and tricks. That's from Karma Tornado.
I have never understood when people have this complaint. It's like they don't realize that in the 40 minutes where your boss is telling you things to do, you're not having to do anything. That's a
Yo,
40
you're
minute.
trying to remember the lyrics to a Dave Matthews Band song.
That's right. You don't have to work when your boss is talking to you. It's like a little vacation in the middle of the day.
Yeah. We used to try to get my friggin' algebra teacher to tell us about the Civil War.
Oh man.
Because if you could get him to talk about that, Mr. Sheets would go on a whole class period on that topic.
I would also suggest this phrase. I'm going to stop you right there. You've inspired me.
Okay.
I just be like, I have to finish this project now, Frank. Thank you.
Listen, Frank, you've put the proverbial wind beneath my wings. I really need to fly now. I feel like I need to fly on my own. Can you give me a coffee? Are you my boss? Are you my boss? Because Justin forgot the question.
Listen, Frank, this back's not going to rub itself.
Listen, Frank, please just drive the cab, Frank. Man, I'm lost
What are
in thread
you?
on this one.
Are you? Did you take like cold medicine or Dilaudid? What are you on?
Here's what I'm on. I'm on Tamiflu, which I heard some hubbub about back when the super flu was like a real fear. So I'm on Tamiflu. I'm on dextromethorphan.
That's not. You just.
That's gonna decongest
What?
me. I'm on Mucinex DM has that in it, and it's got a cough suppressant and something to just loosen it up. And then I'm
Yeah.
on some ibuprofen and some zinc, which for me, when I have a hard hit of zinc, it's like it feels like my brain is a balloon, and I have to pull its string down to earth to grab the balloon and whisper in its ear.
I actually know that to be a fact. That is not a goof that Justin is coming up with right now. I remember that being a problem Justin had in high school.
The zinc gets you
Zinc
fucked up.
gets me messed up. I'd really lose it on zinc. I lose whole seconds. I fall out of time.
But this is like, why would you take it before we do the show instead of just playing through the plane like fucking Kurt Schilling in the bloody sock? This could have been your bloody sock of comedy, but it's.
This
To be
is
fair,
weird.
I've also drank a lot of beers before this too. So I mean,
Am I the only one that is substantially? I'm sorry. I'm on crack. I'm on crack cocaine right now.
You smoked crack.
Crack cocaine.
Hey, can you give us a Yahoo answer?
Sure, I can. This Yahoo answer was sent in by Matt R. Thank you, Matt R. It's by Yahoo Answers user.
Is he any relation to Chris R?
Yes, it's Chris R.'s little brother.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you,
money,
Matt.
Denny.
Thank you, Matt R. It's by Yahoo Answers user Rose is Evander, who asks, "Is it wrong that I sleep with a machete? I sleep with a machete every night in case I wake up in the morning and I'm forced to survive. I keep 2 lighters with me unless I'm at school and occasionally carry a dagger in my boot. My mom is threatening to take away all my stuff because having the weapons only feeds my fear or government. But that's probably fear of government. But when I have my machete, I'm not afraid of anything. She just can't see that something is going on in the world. She doesn't understand that I don't feel like I'm here to have kids and start a family. I feel like I'm here to fight and die for my loved ones. I just don't see how it's wrong to be ready for a disaster. I don't want to wake up and have the house falling apart and I die trying to get my stuff together." Is he saying literally? Like, is he going to fight an earthquake with his magic machete?
Can I hit you guys with a proverb and let me know, and you let me know if it seems wise to you? Because in my head right now, it seems really wise.
Throw your wisdom spaghetti against our wall, and we'll tell you what's.
Let me just see what it sticks.
And then we'll say, "You wasted that spaghetti. What the fuck?"
I'm not saying you're gonna want to like cross stitch this on something, but I think there's a nugget of truth there. The man who sleeps with a machete is a fool every night but one.
Ooh.
Think about that for a second.
You know what? I am gonna get that stitched onto a pillow.
Or your armor. It's something. Just like stitch it, I feel like.
I don't want to get too deep here, but I would also say that every morning when you wake up, you're forced to survive.
Wow, damn it!
Right.
Can I try? Can I try?
Yeah. Yeah.
The world is a little bit brighter when you carry a smile for a flashlight. God damn it! Can I try again?
Let me hit you with another one.
Okay.
Okay. Life is like a box of chocolate.
Go get
I
out. We
live
were
in a
doing
van
so good.
down by
We were
the
doing
river.
so good.
Oh wait, okay. How about this one?
Okay.
The man who sleeps with a machete is a cut above the rest.
That wasn't a proverb. It was just like a pun.
I think it was.
That sounds like the sign you put outside of your machete store.
Well, okay. To be fair, my machete store, a cut above,
Right.
is thriving. Thank you very much.
Can I try? Can I try?
Yeah, you want to try again?
There are holes in the floor of heaven, and Mama's tears are raining down.
Okay.
That's from the country song "Holes in the Floor of Heaven."
All right. Feed Jake. He's been a good dog. Been my friend right through it all. Feed
Don't
Jake.
take the girl.
Mama, God, please don't take the girl.
Can we just do Tim McGraw songs for the rest?
Listen. Hey, pretty lady, won't you give me a sign?
That's-
I'll do anything to make your mind
John Michael
online.
Montgomery. I don't mean to put you on
Boot
blast, but it's John
Scootin'
Michael
Buggy.
Montgomery.
Guys, listen. Prop me up beside the jukebox if I die.
Okay.
You know?
If you guys want to pursue this,
Let's all go down to Dumas Walkers.
Travis Squad people to procure a slaw dog, fries, and a bottle of ski.
And then you can bring it on out to your baby and ye. 3 people just lost their shit.
Yeah, and all of them were in the Kentucky Headhunters. I'm so flattered So flattered you guys are listening, by the way.
I have friends in Austin. I went on a fucking Doomsday Preppers bender over the holidays. And when I got back to Austin, I was hanging out with my group of friends like, yeah, and this show, Doomsday Preppers, they like build secret layers and they buy a bunch of shit and prep for the end of the world. Isn't that crazy? And pretty much all of them either the two responses I got were we have that, yes, or we are actively in the process of acquiring those things.
So you think that like everybody is secretly doomsday prepping?
I feel like I'm the only person who, like, when shit goes rough, when shit starts to pop off, Quetzalcoatl makes his tardy appearance. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody on my street is just going to, like, iron shutters are going to slam over their door. And I'd be like, where's our fucking iron shutters? Why didn't we get those?
I went to New Year's Eve. I went to dinner at, like, a very fancy restaurant. And they did this thing where after we ate, they took a razor or like a long, thin metal blade and scraped it over our table so we would not have to, our vision would not be besmirched by crumbs anymore. I say that because if that's still going on in society, like, I think we have a pretty long way to fall before we're back to, like, machetes. Like, if that's the first thing that goes, and then it's like, I have to reach the adjacent table to get a bottle of ketchup, like, that's our apocalypse. Like, I don't think we have so far to break down before that. Like, I think I'll see it coming.
Justin, the point you're trying to make right now it seems so innocuous, but what you're really saying is that you have become accustomed to a level of comfort where if you don't have a man who scrapes the crumbs off of your table so you don't have to look at the crumbs from the expensive, delicious food you just ate, you might as well be fucking dead. You might as well just lay down and wait to die.
That's not the exact point I was trying to make, but I mean, I think that's fine if you... I would prefer someone next time scrape the crumbs off myself, because then it's like there's a clean table and a crummy guy, and it's like, well, how did that happen? I don't have a good excuse.
But just
did
make
you
sure
come
that
into
you
this restaurant with crumbs?
You gotta use a soft bristled broom.
So
Yeah.
please don't touch the table. Please.
Please,
Please,
sir,
can you scoot
we
your
have
chair
another
back?
party coming in a couple hours. Can we get a giraffe in here to lick these crumbs off of him? Thank you.
We have a self mess. Can someone please open up
Someone
the
with
guest
a
gutter and dump him in, please?
Someone with a BMI over 10 is in the restaurant. Can we have them removed, please?
Justin, I really am. Like, I
They're,
feel like
they're enschloppening the whole atmosphere.
a machete seems just like an awfully dangerous thing to sleep with.
Why is it so much? Okay, why is it? You know what? I have an axe within reach of the bed, but it's not in the bed unless you count. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you count the
Well,
old battle axe.
In his
But-
defense, your axe doesn't have a vagina on it.
Right. Correct.
Sorry, I didn't read that paragraph of the Yahoo answer, but his machete has a fake vagina on it.
We've been doing this show for too long officially, I think. Can we do a show about normal people and normal things that they do?
I would say, Griffin, that it is okay to throw stones at people who have sexual relationships with weaponry.
Well, it's not safe.
Well, no.
Certainly. I'd throw stones at other people before I'd throw stones at people who are in love with an axe. Certainly.
Wait a second. Do you think that's oh my god. All of like the crazy NRA Gun Appreciation Day. Do you think it's really because they are fucking these guns literally? They are if you push two pistol barrels together, man, and just wedge something in there, it's going to feel phenomenal.
You listen to me, Beulah.
Oh man.
I will never let them take you. You are my special somebody.
I can't tell if you're trying to do Alex Jones, but
I don't know who that is. I don't know what he sounds like or anything. I know he's a nut bar, and I know he thinks it was a hoax. You listen to me, Beulah. I'm going to have sex with your barrel while I tell you that the second tower could never have come down because metal doesn't melt that way.
I'm going to cock my gun, and then I'm going to pull back the hammer thing that gets it ready to shoot.
I have a friend that I will hang out with a lot, and we have a lot of fun.
Do you
Sorry,
want me
let
to do
try
this for you?
Let me try it in a different tense. Because this seemed very sort of
That was
forward-looking.
past perfect participle present perfunctory.
I have a friend that I hang out with a lot, and we have a lot of fun when we go out. The problem is whenever I say something funny or come up with a goof, he will repeat what I just said back to me verbatim. Not only that, he won't add anything to the joke, and he will repeat what I said to other friends and take full credit for it. Is it awkward because I don't want to call him out for it, but sometimes it gets a little annoying. Should I tell him to write his own jokes, or should I just suck it up? It's from Shafted in Savannah.
Is he like saying, "Hey guys, did you hear what he just said?" He said, and then repeating the joke, or literally just turning to the group and saying it again?
It sounds like he's just literally saying them right, like he's mirroring them.
Like he's learning.
When he first started hanging out with us, he was an amorphous blob, but he's starting to gain characteristics similar to my own.
I don't know, man. I think if you call this dude out, he's gonna give you like an Invasion of the Body Snatchers style howl, and
Yeah,
and then I think he's gonna turn to ash and return to his home planet.
He'll have surpassed you, and he'll take your
Take your
he'll take
words.
take your words, your thoughts. He'll steal them.
Does this man have a slug attached to his brain? Maybe
Is there a slug, a visible slug?
is there a visible slug coming through like a part in his hair? Does he have any spines?
Can anyone else see him but you?
Are you imaginary, perhaps?
Does he ask to borrow some of your clothes and then all of your clothes?
Are you two ever in the same room at the same time?
Does your mother often confuse him for you?
How did you internet, Figment? That's amazing.
That's amazing, Figment.
Fig Newton, you're incredible.
Juice Newton, you're a great singer. That's a personal message from me to Juice Newton.
Oh, God. The title of this episode is Tangents with a Z.
Did you guys have a good week?
Let's pause. Let's take a break. Take a brother break.
Just a quick brother break.
So
We
Justin
never
can
take these anymore.
So Justin can huff some more zinc.
I'm just trying to get it together. I'm holding on by a thread.
I think we should go to the money zone.
Yeah, this is so far has been something that we should be paid for. I look back at the past half hour and think, I demand recompense for this has happened. And I bet you at home are thinking the same thing. These guys are great. I just wish I could pay for what's happening to me.
Don't put a penny into the port at the bottom of your iPod because it'll break it.
Yeah.
And also, we
Don't.
want more than pennies.
Yeah, we need dollars and cents. That's all we're
Well,
about.
no, not cents.
Cents like Musk, because Obama stole all mine. So if someone can send me a Musk that I can use for my very
Have you
own.
ever thought about how Musk sounds like musket?
And how musket sounds like musketoon, which is like a shorter barreled musket.
I got a pretty good goof coming up for you 20 minutes ago, Griffin. I think you're really gonna have liked it.
Most people aren't aware that this podcast is cyclical.
Yeah, this whole podcast is a haiku.
Actually, the last podcast will end with our birth. It'll be really weird.
Like a snake eating its own tail. My brother, and me.
Mobius strip. Nope. Wait. Money Zone. Happy birthday and anniversary. I hope we were paid twice for this message to Arthur Gorka. And that's from
Happy anniversary of your birth.
happy anniversary of your birth and your agreement to stay with each other forever. That's from Lindsay Wood. She loves Arthur very much, one would assume, and it's his birthday and the day that their special commitment was born.
So we have.
What is that, you ask? We don't know. Love?
Love? What am love?
Am Justin Love?
Griffin.
Am Justin No Love, yes.
Am, Ju- Am Justin Touch Love?
Oh my god. I promise we didn't, during the Money Zone break, we didn't take chunky bong rips. We did all take a fuckload of zinc, though.
Oh,
Griffin.
God.
Who am feeling?
Justin, can you guide us through these choppy waters?
Yeah. Baby
Why
wants,
is Justin at the wheel?
baby wants. Oh man, I watched Blue Velvet last night, and at the moment where Dennis Hopper is screaming, "Baby wants to fuck," and he takes a segment of Isabella Rossellini's robe and manipulates her genitals with it. I was thinking to myself, that seems unsanitary. He should have stopped at ExtremeRestraints.com. It's an adult superstore, so you don't have to fuck Isabella Rossellini with your hands wrapped in robe.
Imagine what other classic movies would be like if they had extreme restraints in them.
Yeah, you could just go get a woman's fetish uniform. Baby likes to fuck. Well, get her something that's appropriate for that. Get her a Nurse Perverse. It's a beautiful nurse's costume with some really tasteful covers over her nipples, and it looks great. Very sexual.
What's it? Is it cotton? If it's not cotton, I can't wear it.
I don't know, but I would assume it's all natural. It's probably edible too. I don't know. There's also
It's made of fruit roll-ups.
It's also a silicone. There's also a silicone deluxe come through penis plug. So when you don't want to take the time to take your plug out, you can come, I guess, through it or around it. I'm not exactly sure of the physics, but what I am sure of is that you're going to save a lot of money.
You come into an envelope and then you mail it to your lover. Please don't
mail
do
it-
that to us.
You mail it to yourself in the past, and you're like, when did this happen?
That's how you patent your cum.
That's how you patent your cum. Is you put
That
it in
is
a seal
actually in
envelope.
most courts, as long as there's a postmark on it. That will
Yeah.
hold up in court.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I couldn't be the father.
But don't wait. Don't wait too long, because then that semen will grow into a baby.
That's
as
true.
we all know.
And you'll get one.
happens.
You'll get another mailbox baby. God, it's such a shame, isn't it? Isn't it such a shame, these mailbox babies?
I've actually, thanks to ExtremeRestraints.com, I have seen more manipulated, twisted, plugged dicks than I have normal dicks. I no longer have a barometer for what a regular penis looks like. So often have I seen them caged and pinned like a wild boar.
I didn't know until we started perusing the JPEGs on Extreme Restraint. I didn't know about the secret sex hole that you have on the back of your head. That
Yeah.
you can, that anyone can. It's called your Gorka.
No.
No, I don't think it's called your Gorka.
So our friend James Medina at Extreme Restraints sent me a list of some suggested products to talk about. Oh my god, the best one is the last one, and it is the Kinky Kyle Head and Body Masturbator, which I thought at first from reading the title was like a suit that you wore that masturbated your whole body at the same time.
Oh my
Whoa,
god!
what's up, 2013?
But it's not. It is, in fact, a full body that you use to masturbate.
Oh, okay. I like it.
That's just sex. Is what you just
And he
described.
has eyes, which is weird.
That
So
is-
search Kinky Kyle Head and Body Masturbator at ExtremeRestraints.com.
If you say that sex is just using someone else's body to masturbate, is that the creepiest thing?
basically a pretty terrible thing to say out loud. I do want to say though that the best thing I've ever said out loud to counterbalance that terrible thing that Griffin said is that you can save 20% at ExtremeRestraints.com if you enter the coupon code Middleist as you're checking out. You're going to save 20%.
if you get off, let's get serious. If you get off, when you get off using one of these fine products, it's basically gonna be because of us, because of the savings that we've just passed along to you.
Yes, you're welcome.
20% of your orgasm belongs to us.
Yeah. So if you could scoop up approximately 20% of the, toss that bitch in an envelope. Maybe send it our way. P.O. Box. What is the number, Justin?
Sorry?
The P.O. Box. That
P.O. Box 54, like the car, Huntington, West Virginia, 25706.
Please don't. Please.
Don't send us an envelope of your cum. Stop it!
Please, no.
Stop now. This
Unless-
isn't funny anymore.
Oh, check it out. What if they
Unless-
seal the envelope with it and we'd never know?
Oh, what if they've already done that?
What if I'm gonna quit forever, and I don't just mean this show, but life? I don't have the strength to go on anymore.
How about a Yahoo answer?
ExtremeResearch.com. Coupon code middle is 20%. Hit me, Griffin.
I have a question about pubes and a question about porn, and I'm worried that following up that whole seg with one of these.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe something about... You got
Ira
anything-
Ray sent this in.
Do you have anything about Sanford and Son?
I don't.
Okay.
This Yahoo answer was sent in by Ira Ray. Thank you, Ira. It's by Yahoo Answers user Ty.
Are you Ira Ray? Who wants to know? It's a stinger. It's not a joke. It's a stinger. It's an audio stinger.
Yahoo Answers user Tyler asks, for school, we have to make a pretend restaurant, and I need a catchy slogan. My restaurant's name is Tyler and Kyle's Totally Bodacious Rib Shack. We have seafood
I'm
and...
sorry. One more time.
My restaurant's name is Kyle and Tyler's Totally Bodacious Rib Shack. We have seafood and barbecue. I needed
blend.
to know so much more about
The blend.
K&T's TBRS.
Kyle and Tyler's Totally Bodacious Barbecue and Fish, where the food is as good as it looks.
It is as bodacious as you may have heard.
As bodacious as you believe in your heart that it is.
We are not shitting you about the bodacious.
Come eat some fucking torsos.
Tycho and Kyler. Food?
I'm sorry, what were their names? And when did it go from being an awesome rib shack to being like a highfalutin, like micro food kind of place?
Have you been to that new coffee shop? It's totally shade grown organic. They only serve 1 cup a day. It's called Tycho and Kyler's. They also have gift sets.
Fuck. Why is this a thing that your school's making you do? Do you think this guy's teacher is like, I can't wait to get out of the fucking teaching biz. Got to open up my own restaurant, but I just have no ideas.
Griffin, I know that people are always talking about us talking too much about Dawson's Creek on this show, but it seems like a fine time to bring up Dawson's dad's restaurant concept. For those not familiar with the show, for literally 2 seasons of this program, Dawson's dad's job was to build a model of a restaurant where everyone wore scuba gear. That was his profession.
And it wasn't a joke?
No,
No, that
it
was
wasn't
his,
a gag.
That was his
That
goddamn
his-
JOB.
Every time they pan to this poor, formerly the Flash motherfucker, it's him putting a helmet on a little guy in a scuba themed restaurant.
But he also had his other restaurant, which was Dawson Dad's 100% safe car floor ice cream, which spoiler alert, season 4, Dawson's Creek. If you haven't watched it, I apologize for the spoiler.
I think we've talked about this before.
I think I edited it out because I was really worried about spoiling Dawson's Creek.
What's awesome about the scuba themed restaurant is that later in the show, Dawson's family did in fact have a fish restaurant,
Yeah.
but had none of the. There was no even tip of the hat to its more scuba themed. There was apparently an off camera conversation between Mitch and Gail where Gail's like, "Listen, Mitch, this is the dumbest goddamn idea ever. You know what people like? Fish. You know what people hate? Helmets and tubes. I'm not doing this with you anymore. Let's get a divorce." Sydney often tries to convince me that Dawson's Creek is actually the story of Mitch and Gail.
Well,
That everyone else is ancillary.
I don't. Well, I mean,
Think about it. It really makes a lot of sense.
Categorically,
why-
it does it.
I mean, if you think about it, that's her time to regroup anyway. I have recently taken a listen to audiobooks to help pass the time during life's more menial tasks. Once I complete listening to one, can I claim that I have read it, or do I tell people I have only listened to every single word over the course of 10 hours? That's from Wondering in Woodstock. Travis, I bet you have an opinion about this.
I do, and it's awful.
The
problem is-
ship is still on its steady course.
Yep. The problem is, yes, you can say that you read it, but you'll have to 100% of the time follow that up by saying, well, I mean, I listened to it.
Why is
And
it-
so
you're still-
it's better just not to bring it up.
You're getting the information in your fucking brain. Like, how's it matter
You
how
know,
much
you
it's
would
in
be
it?
amazed, but you'd be amazed that, like, I've had this argument with people before, because I agree with you, Griffin, but the number of people who say, like, no, the taking in audio information and visual information is too different, like, it's completely different, and you don't hold it the same way. Now, I will say this. I could see why having somebody read it to you tends to put their inflection on things, and you don't hear it in your own voices in your head, you hear it through them. So I could see where that would affect it a little bit, but you're still getting the story, you're still getting the words, like,
You're still getting fucking smarter. I don't understand why these
Right?
people have to stand. You're trying to do better, and they're like, but it's indifferent. Well, fucking man, fuck those Beekmans. You don't need that.
right?
I don't think any of these Beekmans are ever going to quiz you on a.
How did
on-
the paper feel in your hands then? Describe
Right.
the textile
Well,
element.
I mean, how is it different? I mean, it seems to me like the same kind of progression of, like, reading a book or getting it on a Kindle, except, hey, guess what, idiots? I can listen and do other stuff at the same time.
You can listen to
Maybe
that
you
book
can't
and read
do?
another book. Double books.
Yeah, you know what you can't do? Read a book and drive a car.
Yeah.
I can listen to the book on tape and drive a car at the same time. Who's smart now, Beekman? Me.
Now, let me ask you the slightly more complex question. What if the audio version is abridged?
Oh, well, then it doesn't count.
It does though,
it
because
not?
when you read a book, you're automatically abridging it because everybody knows that when you read a book, you're really only reading every other paragraph.
Tops. Like, at
Tops.
most.
You'll read a sentence and be like, John woke up and looked outside, and you're like, well, he's about to describe some fucking trees for like 200 words, so I'm just gonna go ahead and skip around and look for the word tits.
You know, when I was in elementary school and I had to read books for the accelerated reader program and then take quizzes on it, I would read every other page.
Yeah,
And I aced every single one of those tests.
sure, because you're a very lucky man.
Well, I got the
That's really-
basic gist of Treasure Island. Now, maybe I was confused as to where some characters came from,
Yeah.
but I knew who the characters were. And it was 5th grade. It's not like they were, like, really in-depth quizzes. It was like, what was the name of the evil pirate? And you're like, Long John Silver. I learned that in the first, like, 10 pages.
What
Or
if
20
Travis
pages.
did that and became the first dude to ever understand Finnegan's Wake? Like, everyone's like, oh, shit, yeah. Every other. Okay.
Oh, it was like a codex. Okay.
I got it.
You had to read every other page, and then they connected.
Unless one of the pages
yeah.
you were skipping had the word tits on it. You quickly scan.
Yeah.
That's why the Kindle is great, because you can just, like, search for the word tits.
Control F. Yeah. Sometimes they
Tits.
don't say tits though. Sometimes they say like titties. James Joyce used them interchangeably. So if you search one, you're really going to be missing out on like half the book.
That's why it's better just to type tit, and then it'll pull up both.
No, because then you could get like title,
Right.
Oh, that's true.
and nobody wants to waste time.
Or like titular, and
Uh-huh.
then you're like, oh, damn, it's not what I thought it meant.
Or titty, which isn't sexy. It's not sexy if someone says
I
that.
forgot about James Joyce also peppered his works with that.
He
Yeah.
actually he coined the term titties.
Actually, the only character in Finnegan's Wake that uses the term titties is Meth Daryl, and everyone knows that you could skip all the Meth Daryl sections and really take just as much away from the novel.
That's why when you search it on your Kindle, you got to do the minus sign Meth Daryl, so that way it will edit Meth Daryl out of the book for you.
Yeah.
Completely.
Did you know you can do that with Kindle? Just edit out whole sections of the book.
Yeah, books are the fucking worst.
Yeah.
I get it, books. You had your chance.
If I could
Maybe
shoot
if you had pictures and you talked. Oh wait, that's movies. Get the fuck out, books.
yeah.
I read books for the first 16 years I was alive, before computers and everything, and I really feel like books have had their chance. at this point, if I'm not reading anymore, isn't that really their fault? Like,
Ooh,
didn't
let
they
me-
have a chance to get their claws into me?
Let me ask you guys a next level question.
Okay.
Hit me.
Kick it
Okay,
up.
so we agree that when you listen to the book on tape, you can say you read it, right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
if you watch a really like accurate movie version of a book?
Sure.
You say you read it.
I think if
There's. I think with a movie, you run a real risk of saying the one thing that like lets the person know that you only saw the movie. Like, I think that that's a long distance scam.
So, but like with Game of Thrones, where they made like 10 episodes of one book, that's pretty accurate. You know, like I feel like that covers it.
But I think in Game of Thrones, is a rare example of where you should be more embarrassed to have read the book, right? Because you're saying instead of actually seeing some real juggarugs on TV,
Oh my God.
I'd rather read.
As coined by James Joyce.
I'd rather read a fat bearded man
well,
tell me about.
I don't know
jugs.
because that fat bearded man can weave a tapestry of adjectives to describe.
Yeah.
The words he creates
he
to
fucking
discuss titties.
goes centimeter by centimeter, describing every bump, every nook and cranny of the areola. He gets in
George
there.
R.R. Martin is a man who knows his nipples.
He gets
does.
in, on, and around those titties.
He gets you inside the mind of the titty.
Yeah, you really know what the titty's thinking, and I mean, you can
Please,
feel
Justin.
Yeah.
Titty.
You can feel the lactation. I'm saying sometimes when you read them, you can really feel that kind of thing. If his descriptions of breasts are so exquisite, you would almost swear they were edible, because those are the only other things that get his attention in that fashion.
Well, it activates the same part of well, not everyone's brain, but certainly George R.R. Martin's.
The only thing George R.R. Martin likes is food and breasts and ways to avoid walking. If he can do any of those three, he is stoked. I don't know him personally. He's probably a very sweet man.
Who knows
I'm
a
just
lot
kidding
about
with him.
boobies.
He does. I mean, he can write a boob. That's all I'm saying. He can write a boob.
I do find it weird when there are entire chapters from the perspective of tits. Like that.
Yeah.
That seems a little excessive. It's like the tits heaved up and down, and they didn't see much until they got out to fuck. And then the kings died. And then it's
There
like,
was
well,
that
I
one
would have.
point in the book where it tangented off to a time when George R.R. Martin saw some boobs.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with like the story he was telling, but it like took over from the narrator.
It was the
And
summer.
like, speaking of boobs,
The summer of
Yeah.
'75 in the back of my dad's Chevrolet.
The blood of Reggie Stark splashed onto the boobs, and then they knew that the king had perished.
and there was not a dry boob in the house that day.
Not a dry boob, as all the boobs were covered in tears of the families that had lost men that day.
And House Stark always knew that Winter was boobing.
So it was.
So many men were lost that day. So many hearts broken just below the breasts.
You
that
can
they
read
were
more
below.
in the final chapter of the Game of Thrones series titled A Barrel of Jugs.
My girlfriend and I recently
Dragon
got engaged.
tits. Sorry, go on.
Dragon tits. A song of ice and fire. And boobs.
Okay.
My girlfriend and I recently got engaged. We started planning our wedding. We're having a problem filling out our guest registry. Each of us have lived.
Gift
Gift
registry.
What did I say?
Guess.
Guest.
We're having a problem filling out our gift. Should I start at the beginning? Would that be easier to edit?
No, it sort of plays
Mike-
into the narrative thread of this podcast of you being whacked out of your mind on a single
here's
off
the
of a
thing.
single mineral.
They lived alone before moving in together, so we already own a lot of stuff. What should we include on our registry to ensure a life of wedded bliss? And that's from wanting some free shit.
I think you are missing the point.
Sir.
The point here is not to get stuff you don't already have. It's to get the new awesome adult version of the childish shit you bought for $20 at Walmart.
Right. Right.
Like, everybody's got the economy class of stuff. This
Everybody's-
is your chance to say, hey, maybe, splurge and buy me the fancy iron.
Well, but maybe
everybody's got the coffee maker that will just literally just tip over and spill coffee all over the ground if you let brew more than 3 cups at a time. Everybody's got that already.
But maybe these people are into that. Maybe these people are into shabby chic, and we can't. You don't want to take that from them, you know?
Well, if that's the case, then you need to widen your mind.
Yeah.
And go do a gift registry at Home Depot and get some tools. I guarantee you don't have enough tools.
Listen, you can't. You're so young. You can't already have. If you already have all the material possessions you want right now, what are you going to distract yourself with when the magic wears off? You know.
Get in a really
Why
bad
don't you
fight.
register for toys?
They get in a really bad fight where they break all the shit that they have.
Oh, that's true. I have a few different options here. My wife and I ran into something similar to this. We actually had people buy us parts of our honeymoon. We had a registry where you could buy dinner one night or one night in our hotel room or whatever. So we did that. I also had our friends John and Rissy went the opposite direction, and they registered at Target for shit they didn't need. So we ended up buying them a copy of Trivial Pursuit and a large jar of nacho cheese because they had registered for it.
Now, what's to make you think they don't need that?
I mean, they certainly consumed it, I'm sure.
Right?
Have you
I'm
guys
just saying
ever?
that, if you look around your house, I'm sure that you could use some new bath towels or, you know, something like that. You probably are not thinking about all the new shit you could get.
I think we're just gonna ask for money to get a house, but if people don't give us enough money at the wedding to pay for an entire house, then we don't let them leave.
Here's the problem, though, Griffin. That's not a bad idea, but there are people in this world that, for some reason, are just so opposed to giving money that you have to give them some kind of option. Everything that I've read, everybody I've talked to is you need to go and register for at least,
We've thought,
20 things.
yeah. I mean, we thought of that. You can either give us money for a house or the keys to the house that you got us.
Uh-huh.
What kind of house?
Or
crazy?
just keys to a house.
That's fine.
And then we have to find it.
It's like the Goonies.
Why don't you register for some guns?
Yeah, because Obama's going to take them before they can even, get married. That would be terrible.
What about video games?
Can you register for toys?
I think so.
Yeah, you can. It's just, you're not... The people who are going to buy you things off your registry, I think, one, you lose out on... By not having items in your registry, you lose out on people who aren't going to people who aren't going to attend, but will go through the easy... few clicks to send you a gift to let you know they're thinking about you. So, if you look around at your household goods, if you live in America, you better get real used to the idea of being dissatisfied with your material possessions. And right now you're thinking good enough, and we don't know that term here. We always want bigger and better. Your towel's fine, but can you wrap your whole body in it 3 times and then your
Is it
head
still
and
as
also
fluffy
feet?
as it was when you bought it 3 months ago?
Is your love?
You're saying that there's always better shit.
There's always
There's always
better
newer
stuff.
shit.
Watch Cribs and pick one thing on there. It's better than the thing you have at your house. Unless you're watching a real bummer episode like Sean William Scott or something.
Wait, was this a bummer?
Oh God, he just lived in an apartment with 2 other dudes. It
So
was
would
a nightmare.
Red. Did you ever see Red?
No,
Man's?
I'm not. Have you
Red
ever
Man had piss in his toilet, and his doorbell was broken.
Sean William Scott lived in an apartment with 2 other guys, and they had 2 rooms, and they were sharing a bed, and there were boxes of pizza all over the floor. I did not know how they got on television, but it was amazing.
That's amazing. It's like Sean William Scott was totally recognized the fact that his star was going to burn so bright and so fast.
I cannot afford to go buy don't be silly right now.
Thank you, Sean William Scott.
Thanks for.
You were so good at Meet the Needles.
I don't think that was. I don't think that was his.
Pretty sure he
opus.
wasn't in Meet the Needles.
Pretty sure.
Do you have a Yahoo that would be good?
What's the one about pubes you talked about?
Yeah, let's trot that old pubes number out.
You mentioned something about pubes, if I'm not mistaken.
This
Have something in a pubes?
was sent in by Layla. Thanks, Layla. I feel like I've already spoiled the. I feel like I've already ruined the prestige.
Okay.
This is asked by Yahoo Answers user Keith, who asks, "How do I prevent my dog from eating pubic hair he finds in the bathroom?"
Okay.
There's not. Why do you need more details than that?
You could try put some quicklime on them. that's gonna scare them right away. If you dump a little quicklime right on your pubes, that's gonna keep your dog away. It's gonna keep deers away. If that's
You
a
could
problem
also
for
go
you.
with a no-no can. Just get like a Pepsi can full of small pebbles, and every time he goes to eat the pubic hair,
Oh.
you shake the no-no
Yeah,
can.
but that
at
means
him.
you will have to be there pretty much constantly. So you'll have
You're
to.
gonna have to set a honey pot, and so you're gonna have to place pubes there
Oh, I see.
specifically to draw the dog in.
Or
Ty,
you could
get a
hire an
single-
attendant to stand over your pubes that you left in the bathroom.
tie a long thread of cans to one of the pubes, and then when he eats it, then he'll run around and you'll hear the cans banging around.
That seems like less of a way to get him to stop, more of a way to know that he's done.
Put
it.
the pubes on glue,
Okay.
Okay.
and then he'll try to lick it, but his tongue gets stuck, and then he looks silly.
Hire a bigger dog to protect your pubes.
It would be so much. It would be so much easier to get your dog to stop doing things if dogs felt shame or embarrassment or anything.
Have you considered building a small house around your pubes and locking the door?
or get rid of the dog.
Wow, Trav.
Wow, Travis.
I'm just saying. I mean, I know it's drastic, but it would work.
Cut off his pubes, put them over, camouflage your own pubes with them, and then when he sees
Okay.
them, he's like, "Oh, no big deal. It's just mine."
Cut off his pubes and eat them in front of him and be like, how's this feel? How do you
so
like
nice
this?
when it happens to you, is it?
Makes you feel pretty sad doesn't it, to watch me eating your pubes. Wait a minute, I love this when I have a boner. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Sam Beckett. Quantum Leap. Out. Ziggy, I messed up. Ziggy, I ate
No,
pubes
and
in this
then
man's
Dean
body.
Stockwell
Oh, I
apparates.
ate the pubes. Why haven't I leave?
Dean Stockwell appears. He's like, "Nope, that's pretty much that's what you needed to do here. Actually, I'm consulting with Ziggy. This can't be right, but it said in order to prevent catastrophe, you had to learn that you like eating pubes. So, I guess
If you hadn't eaten those pubes, Jackie Kennedy would have been shot too.
yeah."
Think about it. Think about it.
That
Did
doesn't
you-
sound right, Al. Eat more dog pubes, Sam.
Sam, save some pubes for me. Sam. Now I have to go punch Kyle McLaughlin in the stomach because Dennis Hopper told me to. Blue Velvet again. Man, great film. Seen it. That one scene where Isabella Rossellini gets fucked by dog pubes is amazing.
You were done.
It's animated
Yeah,
and
it's-
claymated,
yeah.
which is weird to do both.
What a fun episode.
Do you think? Tomorrow I'm going to listen to it and wonder who is that hilarious stranger recording with my brothers? And why did I miss the recording? So this has been My Brother, and Me. It's a psychosexual journey into the unknown, starring three actual brothers, Justin, Travis, and Griffin McElroy. Every week we listen to you, your questions, and we help you to rebuild your life from what you've done to it every week.
That we made you do to it the previous week.
We're sorry. Every week is about undoing the damage that we've done.
Man.
Twitter, thank you so much for tweeting about our program using the MBMBAM hashtag. Joel Kelly, C. Duncan Cook, John Gregory, Sandra Proden, Amalai Shuri, Mark Brown, Jan Villarosa, Evan Weston, Bramble Pelt, Loretta Zahn, Isaac Zuka, Zix Saro, Aaron S. So many people tweeting about our program. Thank you so much for doing so. If you want to share our site with other people, our podcast rather, if you want to share our clothing site with a bunch, if you want to share our
We got an Etsy site.
we got an
if you wanna check it
Etsy.
out.
It's just some we find local stained glass that's been broken or discarded. Anyway, so we have a sampler. It's bit.ly/it's bim bam.
I want to thank John Roderick and the Long Winters for the use of our theme song, which is called It's a Departure. You can find it on the album Putting the Days to Bed. Whenever I see people like on Twitter talking about how they just bought this album and how we were right, and thank you John Roderick, and thank you the Long Winters for making it, I get fucking angry because it's like, why are you... It's like we've been hanging out at a party that lasted 2.5 years, and now you're only just bothering to ask what my name is. You know what I mean?
What
Yeah.
I find even funnier is when people will ask, like, what is that intro music? And it's like, we talk about it at the end of every episode.
That's been the show, I guess. Hey,
also-
we're gonna be at Max FunCon, Max FunCon West, this May and June, end of May or beginning of June, and I believe last check there were still couple beds available. So head on over to maxfuncon.com. It's going to be wild. We're going to be there, but more importantly, like, cool people will too. So get there.
Also, if you would like to have a personal message or a business message on the show, go to MaximumFun.org/Jumbotron, and they will get you all set up. Also, the Brothers and I have decided that we are ready to do more live shows. We're hoping to do one in April, but we're just not sure where yet. So if you have any suggestions or if you know any venues that would be awesome for us to perform at, then let us know, and we'll try to get something set up.
I think we'd really like to do New England.
Yeah, New York, Philadelphia, Boston, somewhere around there. So if you can make that happen for us, if you know of a venue, or not just know a venue, but you know a guy who can get us in, he's into the show, and
We need you to grease some palms.
We need you to be able to grease some wheels for us to make this a little easier.
Grease some wheels, and you're gonna be step one. You're gonna need to procure a lot of grease.
That's huge.
It's vital. This final Yahoo answer was sent in by Ira Ray. Thank you, Ira Ray. All right, so Yahoo Answers user Mr. Funeral asks, who thinks B. Arthur should have been buried in a cemetery instead of cremated?
I'm Justin McElroy.
I'm Travis McElroy.
I'm Griffin McElroy.
This has been my brother, and me. Kiss your dad square on the lips.